Hey everyone, MMA Uncensored. We are live. We are back. Matthew here. We have a special guest for you. One Championship's own Jackie Buntan. We are ready to speak with her. I believe she is on now. Bear with me 1 second. She had a great last fight. I definitely want to ask her about that.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, good. How are you?
Doing well. Doing well. Glad to have you on. Thank you very much for taking the time out. I know, in your busy schedule, things can get, pretty hectic.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. Um, so tell the fans, the viewers, whoever's going to be watching this, who you are. What do you do?
Well, yeah, I'm Jackie Buntan, live here in Los Angeles, California, and I am a fighter for one championship in the women's strawweight division for one Super Series.
Nice. How do you like it with one championship?
I only had one fight with them, but I love it. I feel like that's definitely the place to be as a striker right now. Purely
Hmm.
striking, meaning like only Muay Thai kickboxing is definitely one of the best, if not the best, promotion to be signed with as an athlete. So I love it.
Great. I know. I I was watching some of your last fight. I was very impressive. How do you feel coming off a fight like that?
I feel good. Like always been training hard and working hard, and it's coming off of like a 1.5 year hiatus from fighting period due to like canceled fights and of course COVID. Um, felt really good to finally get in the ring and just do what I love to do and see all the hard work and repetition of certain techniques come out. So it was a fun night for me.
Nice. Very good. Yeah. No, I watched some of the highlights. I said, man, that's a good one. I actually read a little bit about it, and you said that you knew you were an underdog coming into the fight. How so?
Well, the strawweight division for Muay Thai, it's fairly new. We have a good
Hmm.
amount of girls, but the most active fighter in this division is Wonder Girl, and she obviously had two successful um, fights in the division for one championship. So I already knew that coming into it, there's a lot of hype behind her, and I'm kind of just a lot of people didn't really know who I was, back then, but I think I proved them that I'm a serious contender in that division.
That was my next question for you. How do you feel is coming? Well, what do you think some of the fans are saying right now? They're like, man, who is this? Who is this fighter?
Yeah, I mean, I've been fortunately enough to have a good following on social media, at least most of the fans all over the world, but most of them being here from the States where I'm from. And after that last fight with Wonder Girl, I just got a whole new fan base from all over the world, big fan base from Philippines, which is really awesome. And they're just showing nothing but love and support. So it was overwhelming at first, but it just, goes to show that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
That's always a good thing when you have the fans supporting you. People behind you, team, things like that.
Right.
Um, it's got to feel good. How did you feel coming in off that camp?
I
Did you have
felt,
time for a camp?
yeah, so we knew about the fight, for maybe almost 2 months or a month and a half, something like that. But it wasn't really finalized, like sign the contracts and stuff until about 7 weeks. So that whole camp was about 7 weeks. And, like I said, even without a fight, I'm still training every day pretty consistently. But, it's a different intensity level and mindset when you're finally in a camp. And I haven't really been in a fight camp for like a year and a half. So I just remember how exhausted I felt, and I was just like, man, I can't believe I used to do this like consistently. It's been a while, but after like probably the middle of the camp, I got my groove with everything, and everything just felt back to normal, and I was really more so excited to fight rather than nervous.
So, How do you feel seconds before the fight? What's going through your head? Is it that same feeling?
Yeah, the nerves are always there. It's like pre-fight jitters. When I was a lot younger, I would kind of just psych myself out, like you said, seconds before the fight. But that's not the case now. I'm able to kind of handle the whole mental aspect a little better now, differently. But yeah, just making the walk when they bring me on my marker, play the music, fog machine goes on. It's a lot. It's a huge production with the lights and cameras, the announcers, but I just made it clear to myself, just stay present. It's just another fight, and these lights, cameras, all that's just part of it, and I shouldn't let it, get to me, and that's what I did. So was able to stay pretty calm and present for that fight.
Awesome. Yeah, composure is very important.
Right.
How long you been training? Your entire life. You've been training since a kid.
Yeah, it's been like 12 years now. I started training when I was 11. I'm 23 now, so it's been a while.
Okay. Now, what are some of the things you've trained in that you're skilled at?
I've only
I
been
mean, obviously, that what you showcase already.
Yeah, I mean, I started with Muay Thai, and that's exactly what I'm training now. Just always been Muay Thai. My coach takes a lot of influence from previous, Muay Thai fights in the past to current Muay Thai fights. He also takes a lot of techniques from boxing in terms of footwork. That's been a big key factor in my last fight camp and this fight camp, which I think gives me the edge. I really do think having the footwork and speed gives me that kind of little higher edge to my opponent. So footwork is definitely something that we stay working, and it's been incorporating for a bit now.
Okay. Yeah. No, I read in a press release actually that and not to quote you, but you said I see that I saw that I was hurting her. You know, a lot of people when they're fighting, they can always tell when they're hurting their opponent. What kind of confidence did that give you, knowing that you were being dominant?
Oh, it boosted it a bunch. I'm not trying to sound, cocky or egotistical, but like you said, when you're in a fight and you could physically see whatever you're doing is harming the person in front of you, and they just don't want to budge and don't want to give in, it definitely boosts up the confidence, and that boosts everything up. It boosts your energy up, it boosts your mindset up. So it was definitely a big factor.
And knowing that you were coming in as an underdog to seeing that, it has to feel good.
Yeah, it felt pretty good.
No, that's awesome. I mean, there no reason not to be shy about something like that, especially when you've put in the time, like you said, you put in the time in the camps, and you're staying ready. So that's important.
Right. Thank you.
Anybody you looking to fight next, or anybody you would, if they said, you know what, Jackie, pick your opponent, who would it be?
Oh man, I'm really down to fight whoever, but I would probably be down to fight Amber Kitchen because we fought as amateurs years ago here in LA, 2017, and I actually lost that fight. And I was supposed to make my one championship debut against Amber Kitchen in March of 2020, but that's right when this craziness happened with COVID. So there's no one to blame about it, but love to finally get that fight. And I think it'd be fun, see how far we progressed over the years after our last fight together.
How long ago was it?
I think it was 2017 or something like that.
Okay.
So it's been a bit. It's been a while.
Oh yeah, so you definitely feel more confident this time.
Yeah, I know. I'm confident in the fact that I'm a complete different fighter now with a whole new tool set and arsenal. And I'm sure she's improved as well. So I think it'd be really cool to see the difference over the years in both our styles.
Oh, that's awesome. So if they were to give you that fight, obviously you would take it.
I take it. I mean, I take whatever they give me.
Okay. So we had a couple of fan questions actually. Somebody said if there was a celebrity that you could fight, who would it be? They actually have celebrity boxing.
Yeah, I know that's big right now. I mean, I really don't know. I haven't thought about that question at all. Um, I mean, whoever, right? Whoever would give me the most traction, give me the most payday, I guess. But that's not something I'm really thinking about.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes the fans want to know, some weird stuff.
Yeah.
Um, speaking of gaining traction, how did you feel about the Jake Paul fight at Ben Askren?
I did not even watch it. I just saw, the clips of him knocking him out, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just kind of like a given. It's like, okay, this boxer, coming in with the edge because he's a boxer in a boxing fight versus a MMA guy who specializes in wrestling. I feel like it wasn't a total shock. But yeah, it's interesting right now how a lot of them are getting into it and making these big fights happen.
Definitely a big fight. He's actually calling out Nick Diaz right now. He's calling
Oh
out. How do you
wow!
feel about that? Who do you think would win that fight,
I mean,
or who would you want to win?
I'd like to say Nate Diaz.
Yeah, there's a lot of hate about it, and
Yeah.
it, people come into the sport. We just want to know how it's going, especially when they're drawing that much attention.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm glad to know that. So, in your experience, would you rather do what you're doing now, or would you rather fight with gloves? But in boxing, would you? What about boxing? Has that ever been a?
I mean, it does catch my mind here and there because I feel comfortable with my boxing. I feel like it's only improving in terms of the technique and the power with my hands.
Mhm.
I mean, it's definitely something I probably might be interested in, but right now I have my full focus on Muay Thai and kickboxing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your last fight, you felt confident on your feet. If it would have went to the ground, would you have felt as confident?
Oh, I'm definitely not. I mean, I haven't trained jiu-jitsu. I don't do any ground game at all, so
Okay.
definitely do not feel confident there.
Okay. So if you were even able to, be a well-rounded ground person, if you had your jiu-jitsu, with your striking, how would that make you feel as a fighter?
I don't know. I mean, just because I've only been training Muay Thai striking my whole life, and that's kind of just like where my interest is as of right now, just striking. I'm not really thinking about doing MMA, so I wouldn't know how I feel about that just because my mind's not really wandering to dabble into the MMA world.
No, it's always good to stay focused with what you're doing.
Yeah.
No, we always ask, and I always want to know what makes a fighter. What drives you to be a fighter. I always want to know those things.
Right.
Especially at your age, coming in as a female fighter into a new division, it's got to be tough.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a tall order, especially with one championship being as big as it is, but
Hmm.
it's just little things every day that boost your confidence, and whether it's in training or out of training, in a fight or out of a fight, those little things really help keep me focused and keep my eyes on the goal.
Okay, that's good. What kind of diet are you on?
Right now, I pretty much it's like a macro based type of diet. So every meal I'm eating a bit of everything. Like I'm definitely eating protein, carbs, low carbs, fats, all that. It is portioned out though, so like on a calorie deficit. My nutritionist Tyler Minton, he does all the hard work for me in terms of making the plan and the ratios of each macro that I need, and all I have to do is just follow it. It's pretty easy, and it's definitely the most successful um, quote diet I've been on. That definitely keeping my not only the weight's dropping and staying at that consistent weight, but the energy and power is still there. So he is a lifesaver in my camp.
Nice. It's got to be good when your power's still there, and even if you're eating less food or if you're not eating less food. Um, so do you walk around at the same weight that you're fighting at?
No, so I fight at like 124 point something pounds. I forget the exact number, but
Hmm.
I'll probably walk around like 10 pounds heavier than that, so around like 134, 135. So not too far off.
Yeah, that's not too far. Not cutting 30, 40 pounds.
No, I don't even know if I could do that. I know some guys can do that. I don't know if I'm able to do it though.
So I did mention that about what drives you to be a fighter, but you know, I do want to ask you that.
Yeah, so I know a lot of people have different stories, and you know, I feel like everyone has hardship through their life, and I definitely experienced that. But it's more so just kind of a passion thing and something that makes me happy. And you know, I've been training since I was, like I said, a little girl, and it's ever since 11 years old when I started training. I literally have never lost interest in this, and not only especially competing, but just training itself, you figure out so many new things about yourself, like every day. Like I've been training 12 years, I'm still learning new things about myself that I learned throughout training, pushing in the hard days, pushing through those tough days, those days where you just feel, you know, physically or mentally exhausted. Being able to push through that, I feel like I'm able to figure out so many deeper layers to myself that I didn't even know. And it's really just, you know, proving to myself who I am as a person. And that's kind of what drives me in fighting, besides the really fun, cool aspect of Muay Thai.
Getting to hit people in the face.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, let's not take...
Like self-learning you learn through the sport, not just competing, that I think is a really, really cool thing that you can't really get from any other thing in life.
So where do you see yourself in a couple of years? 2, 3 years now?
I see myself with a world title, whether that be Muay Thai or kickboxing or both. I see myself with a world title and still fighting, still training. You know, I'm still young. I still have a lot of years in the sport, so I want to make the best out of the one career I get. So.
Okay, well said. And you feel like this is your road, like you're paving the way right now.
Yeah, I mean, I know I've only had, you know, one fight with one championship, but this is something that I'm fully committed to 110%. You know, there's like the cheesy quote, there's no plan B, you know, like this is what I want, and I feel like I'm making it happen for myself. So this is definitely what I should be doing right now.
Awesome. Awesome. Well said. So is there anybody you want to shout out? Any coaches, sponsors, family, friends?
I have to shout out my coach. He's the best human being ever, Brian Popejoy. I'm sure a lot of you guys know about him. My strength coach, Nick Curson, Sweet of Sport. My sponsors, Infight Style, DeHilio, Los Angeles. Jeff DeHilio, he's a photographer, a really good buddy of mine. He takes a bunch of photos, helps me out with, you know, all the social media stuff. And my nutritionist, Tyler Minton, and my meal prep man, Lou Pauly. Those are all the same guys I bring with me to every camp, so I have to show support for them.
Okay, I was hoping you said Tyler again. I was like, man, what was his last name? His meals were sounding kind of good.
Yeah, look him up. He's great.
Awesome. Well, Jackie, thank you for being on the show. You know, good luck in your next fight. Hope to see you soon. Hopefully get you back on here at MMA Uncensored. So, you know, we could talk about either, you know, a pre-fight or a post-fight, anything.
Yeah,
like that.
I'd love to have it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Again, we thank you for being on the show. You have a good day, and good luck to you.
Thank you so much. Take care.
All right. All right. So you've heard it from another one of One Championship's fighters. They love it over there. One is good. Their meal prep guy sounds amazing. So everyone, with MMA Uncensored Podcast, we want to say thank you for watching. Be sure to tune in to this podcast. Go to our YouTube page. Subscribe. We need you guys. We need you to go there and subscribe right now. We're going to put this link in the bio and get it done. Have a good one. MMA Uncensored out.